It's daybreak on the Rise News, and it's time for the press preview. First look at what's on the front pages of the paper. As usual, we'll begin with our sister publication before we bring in Emmanuel this day. Let's look at what this day newspaper is saying boldly on its front page, as we showed earlier in our news. Tinubu, I made Buhari president. Osinbajo VP. Abiodun governor. That's the current governor that fought with Ibukula Mosu, if you remember. 3 riders says it's the turn of Yoruba, and therefore my turn to be president. Vice President meets Adamu, that's the chairman of the party. 5 governors, APC governors, to convey their suggestion to president today. Woo. Key choices before Buhari. You can see those pictures there. The key choices standing before Buhari. Let's look below the key choices. Methodist prelate alleges kidnappers took them to a gully full of corpses of beheaded victims. That's, of course, to frighten him that he might lose his life. Thank God he came out of it. New permutations emerge as PDP's search for Atiku's running mate intensifies. You can get that on page 42, and the story on key choices for Buhari on page 10. And that's about it for this day. I mean, these are that's just the major story there, Ken.
The Punch newspaper is leading, I brought Buhari out of political retirement, assisted him to emerge president. That's according to Tinubu. There's more. Let's take a look at whatever paper we have on the screen.
All right.
The Nation.
You have The Nation, and this is a play with words. I'm loving it. It says, Akeredolu, why APC must rotate power to retain power. That's quite interesting. And then, of course, you have their APC chairman, the topmast Oyegu panel. Oyegu panel yet to submit screening report. 19 committees swing into action. We have spent 43 billion on pensioners, says Oyetola. Page 34, Makinde may unveil running mate today. That's Oyo State there for you. And then invest at home. Buhari urges Nigerians abroad. You find that on page 7. But the Akeredolu story has a rider or two. It says Tinubu visits Oyo Ogu, gets delegates backing. It's time to reward me, says ex-governor. And then just below the picture, their new investor takes over Union Bank. Chairman, CEO, directors quit.
The Guardian newspaper now is leading with APC presidential primary aspirant stakeholders in last throw of the dice. Insecurity could worsen ahead of general elections. That's according to a report. And Nigeria moves to locate and enroll 200,000 undetected yearly tuberculosis cases.
All right, we go to the foreign papers and we start with Financial Times. OPEC leads output to cool oil price rally.
The Times newspaper.
Yep.
Beaming Queen gets her party started.
Interesting. We were talking about it a while ago. 70, that's about 3 decades plus. Okay, The Independent. Ukrainians look to long fight ahead after 100 days of brutal, bloody combat. Our hearts go out to the Ukrainians. Queen beams at flying start to Jubilee.
And the Daily Express. That's a picture of the Queen. Incredible, beaming Queen reacted to rapturous crowds celebrating her historic 70 years on the throne.
All the foreign papers are actually beaming the Queen. Yeah. I newspaper. History maker. Of course, he has so many writers there. Queen becomes the first British monarch to mark 70 years on the throne. And huge crowd on the mall celebrate first day of her platinum jubilee. Let me just take those two. All right.
And finally, The Guardian says, alarm at NHS failings over women's health.
All right, let's bring in Emmanuel. Emmanuel, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So you had a fantastic sleep yesterday.
Well,
All right.
it's the Queen's, it's the Queen's Day.
Yeah, it's the Queen's Day.
We're in the middle of history.
Yeah, 70
History
years.
maker, 70
On
years.
the I'm sure you will talk about it. Let's start with this day. Tinubu, Tinubu is blowing hot. No holds barred. He said, I made Buhari president, Osinbajo VP, Abiodun governor. It's the turn of the Yoruba. Out of the Yoruba, it's my turn. What do you make of all the rumors going round of a consensus candidate, and then what Tinubu has just burst out saying?
You're right, bust, that's the right word. We're seeing a man that's not holding anything back. If this were a wrestling contest, you would say that he's going for a no disqualification, a no hold barred kind of a wrestling match. This is a grudge match. He's burying it all out. Some of these things he said are not things that are entirely new. They've been in the public domain for very long. How he's according to him, according to the story, how he of course reached out to Buhari. He's saying it now in his own words, and he's saying that some of those revelations, even the one of Abiodun, so this is the first time he's saying some of these things in the way he's saying them. And I think it's a reaction. This is a backlash, following all those talks about succession, a successor to the president, and following those talks about a consensus candidate and all of that. I think Tinubu probably thinks that this is, even the this day story say that, look, Tinubu thinks this is slipping away from him, and that's how the story started. That probably, starting from that, I'm feeling that this whole thing, his lifelong ambition, is fading away right in front of him. He needed to go for broke, and what he's doing now is saying the way it is, saying, look, it's payback time, and I don't like the way I'm being paid. Whether it's the president, whether it's Osinbajo. Remember that Osinbajo is running too, and in some places, Tinubu is talking about the fact that he's been betrayed. We're hearing this word again. Wike, the other day, say he was betrayed. Tinubu has been saying a lot of that too, saying that, look, the people he made, are now pointing fingers at him, people like Osinbajo. But of course, there are Nigerians who say that, look, you cannot in any way claim that you made these people. But Tinubu keeps saying that, look, I made them. And even the president can't deny this. We wait and see whether the president is going to respond, or even Osinbajo or any of those. But the governor was very clear about it, that yes, I am who I am today because of you. He owned up to it, and he's saying that he's the right person. So with this crunch time, the presidential, we are in the middle of presidential politics, and everyone will give what he takes. Tinubu believes strongly that this is race to win. He's the first to declare, and he keeps saying that, look, he doesn't know where others are running to, but he's running to the villa, and that he's the only one who is actually qualified to run. But now he's bringing a new element to it. He's saying, look, he's appealing to conscience. He's talking about morality. He's saying that, look, if I've done this for these people, it's just fair that I'm considered again. Or some people will say, well, it's a democracy. Everybody will go at it with what they have. But this is the president, Tinubu, saying, well, this is what I've got. I've got investment. I've invested in you people. This is an IOU. This is time for payback. Let me come and pick, or let me withdraw from, the goodwill I've sown in your lives and all of that. So, so this is what he's running on. That he's running on competence too. He's saying that he can do the job, but most importantly, he's running on the fact that it's rotation, it's zoning. He's running on all of that, but most importantly, he's running on the fact that, look, I've invested in you people, and it's time that you pay me back nicely and in the right, the right investments I've put in you. So, how this resonates very well with the the delegates as they head to Monday, it's another thing altogether. But for now, Tinubu is firing all of his cylinders and not holding anything back, and saying, look, it's the Yoruba's turn, but beyond the Yoruba turn, it's my turn.
Yeah, Emmanuel, this conversation, isn't it one he should be having with the president, Muhammadu Buhari? Because the president has said he called the meeting and he told the governors to let him choose. He appealed, let me choose my successor, and apparently that's what's going to happen. So if the APC is looking for a candidate, it's probably someone who President Muhammadu Buhari will be fronting for. Just as they've done in Lagos, what's wrong with the president deciding if it's not Tinubu he wants?
Well, you see, Kennedy, he's actually talking to the president, and he's using various platforms to be able to reach out to the president, talk to him directly. That message, that mail is for the president, so there's no doubt about it. He was talking straight to the president. And yes, Kenneth, what you've said is what I've had especially in the socials yesterday. Everybody is saying, look, but this is the game you've always played in Lagos. You've always picked your successor. You've always, decided who was going to be in government house, Lagos. So what's wrong with another person doing it? But Tinubu is not really, against. It doesn't seem as if he's against what the president is doing. He's just saying that, look, I'm the man. Even if you're going to pick a successor, if you have someone in mind, because Kenneth, up to now we don't know who the president is having in mind. This day had those pictures of likely, successor on his front page, and any one of those men could be the person, the person that the president has always talked about. Remember that the president said, look, I have a successor. I don't want to tell anybody his name. It could be any one of these men. It could even be the Tinubu himself. No one knows. So, but that's part of the crisis that all of us need to be talking about. Why should the president talk about a successor now? Is it democratic already? But some NBA is fighting that. A lot of commentators saying that you don't pick a successor for us. It's a democracy. We choose who want to rule us and all of that. But then there are people who say that the president has, like every other person, has got the right to say, look, this is the person I want. What I think Nigerians will not take is you forcing this person down the throat of the electorate.
All right. I don't know. It's all in the front pages of the papers, this Tinubu matter. But I'm looking at Punch here, and I'm seeing, maybe we'll come back to Nigeria later. I'm looking at Punch here, and I'm seeing Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth suffers discomfort during parade. Mrs. Jubilee service today. She's not getting any younger. And I and Ken earlier, I think some other person were talking about, will Prince Charles ever become king? Yeah, let's talk about that. The first thing people see when they look at Queen is actually they don't focus on the Queen. And their thought goes straight to Prince Charles. So everyone wonders what's going to happen. I mean, she's not getting young, but she's carrying that age with really a lot of grace. You can tell. Someone was just saying that she's looking even 60. Some people think that 70 is her age. No, she's over that. She's 70 years.
I think she's 96.
96.
Okay.
4 years away from centenary.
Exactly. And she's 70 years on the throne, the longest reigning monarch. Our own president here, beaming with, was also wrote, through Gorbachev, he was praising her and saying nice things. The whole world, I think she's become a global icon of sorts. If she's expressing some discomfort, it will just be because of age and the fact that she's had a glorious career of a lifetime, one of the best of its kind, and we're in the middle of it all, in the middle of history.
We're looking forward to the APC convention to elect a presidential candidate in a few days to come. Emmanuel, what's on your mind?
A lot.
Maybe I should add that. I should add this to that. What the nation is saying: why APC must rotate power
to retain
power.
A lot's on my mind, and APC is the party that is faced with the moral question of rotation. The PDP doesn't seem to have much of that. Atiku, not many people are angry that the PDP, of course, some stakeholders, certain stakeholders are saying that the PDP too shot itself in the leg by getting a northerner yet again.
Clark said that you should resign.
Exactly. So and now he's hunting for a vice president from the south to balance the whole thing. So PDP seem to be down with that, and some people are comfortable. Is the APC? That's the party that is in the eye of the storm, and a lot of people think that, look, if the APC should go the way of the north once again, of course the APC too is torn between the crisis of zoning, its own intention to actually zone power to the south to, if not anything, to act as a counter to what the PDP has done. But then they're also looking at it in the article is from the northeast. A lot of people think that APC is actually in a quagmire of sorts, thinking that they should also move or zone it to the northeast. And Lawan has been brimming and busting all the places. It is advertised in all the newspapers today. Lawan, that's the Senate president, thinking that look, it can be the biggest counter to what the PDP is done. So that's what the APC is shopping for. The president is in Madrid right now. Someone joked that yesterday that he's gone to Madrid to get an A-class footballer that will be able to match Atiku in the race. But the president is worried. APC stakeholders are really worried. The Atiku challenge is a very strong one. They have to find someone that will match him grace for grace. They have to find someone that will match him, stature for stature, watches for watches, indeed, like you like to say. And, those are the sort of thing that is on the mind of the APC. And don't forget about their own internal crisis with even Abdullahi with some of the NWC saying that he likes to act unilaterally. So these are the whole thing going on as APC heads for Monday. It's an interesting time for those reporting politics, and we're going to just keep an eye on it.
And then, of course, the issue of the committee. I mean, I guess we're stopping here because of time, but just to add this, the issue of the Oyegu panel yet to submit a screening report. We'll wait and see what comes out of that report. Thank you once again, Emmanuel. Of course, you're going to have a beautiful weekend for being here on the President.